25 minutes of long delay. Robert, please send that link to the page, please, as we live in prime time here on high school football live final preview on week 9. I have my guest and my new co-host to the Jackson Sports Media LLC, Sir Robert Mack of Williston Sports Station. Hello, Robert.
Man, how is it going? I am glad to have finally made it. I am out of Facebook Live jail and right back into the stream, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you working with me.
Hey man, thank you for working with me, Robert. Man, we got a lot to talk about, man. I mean, to the channel, please. This is going to be something special here. Please, you guys can't miss it. Like and follow the Jackson Sports Media page. We are working on getting a new name for the show. Me and think of the new name because high school football final is just so bland. We're gonna come up with a new name for the show because we're gonna not only cover basketball, we're gonna cover football. We're gonna cover, because we want to expand our broad. Now, of course, football is the core correspondence of what we do, but we're also gonna do basketball as well in the show too. So please follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel, subscribe to Robert. What's your social media so they can follow you as well?
So we're on Williston Sports Station. So you just hit up youtube.com/at Williston Sports Station, and we're Williston Sports Station on Facebook. So easy enough to follow. We even got at Watch the Dub on x.com if you're a Twitter guy yourself. I mean, I still call it Twitter because I'm
Me
an
too,
old
man.
man. I mean,
I mean, hey, follow him. All his, we'll have the sub media handles at the bottom soon. We're working on this right now. But I'm so excited. I had a vision that I want to get this show more of uh, like a panel of great minds who love high school football. And you was one of the first one that came across my post, and I was so glad to chop it up with you yesterday. And now look where we are today. First episode together. I'm so excited. Appreciate the followers who's watching right now. Let's get into today's episode. So first, we're going to talk about it. We all know what happened at Santa Fe last week. The step down of Coach Jason Wells, leaving Santa Fe. Uh, for what we was told on social media by the athletic department, said it's a major pay cut to get into the coaching field. He took the job, I think, this past spring. I think last year or earlier spring. He left with an over 6 record. Uh, uh, Coach said that he left because he wanted to focus to be more family man. He wants to focus on his family. He has 2 or 3 kids. He took a major pay cut to take the job at Santa Fe. The first game of the year, they looked real good against PK Young. Unfortunately, the rest of the way, they looked well. They looked real good against Fernita Beach, but unfortunately, they got shut out on 2 touchdowns. I want to get your opinion. He wanted to get back into sales. He wanted to make more money. He took a major pay cut to take the job at Santa Fe because he wanted to get back into coaching. What are your thoughts on Coach Wells resigning at Santa Fe? And do you agree with him resigning, or you feel like anybody else who's hating on him?
so I agree with the fact that the man's got to make money to support his family. I'm never going to fault the man for that. What I will disagree with is I would stick it out through the rest of the season, finish out your 10 games, regardless of how it's going. And if you do need to take a job to make some more money and support the family, then yeah, by all means. I mean, I'm a former teacher and football coach myself. I know how much those guys make and that they're getting way overworked and way underpaid, and I hate it for them. I hate it for the kids. I hate it for everybody involved. And, you would think it'd be high time we could actually pay some teachers what they're worth in the state of Florida.
I totally agree. I think going into the hire process. A lot of people. I don't know the whole Santa Fe hire process, how they chose coach. But I met the guy personally. He's a very good guy, humble guy, loves kids, loves the game of football. But at the end of the day, you have a family that take care of yourself. And sometimes you're right. You got the rest of the season at least. Oh, to the kids, finish out at least 1 year. But leaving midway, I get it. You have obligations, but you have obligations to the team as well. You have obligations to those kids. They're going to a new coach, interim coach now. They just won their first game too. Congratulations to the Raiders of ending that 2.5 year losing streak. They won a homecoming against Keystone Heights this past Friday. But You're right. I think he should have really stayed out the rest of the 4 games. Then make a decision. Hey, you know what? It's best for me to go ahead and leave. I leave a good note. AD, I know Miss Falk very well, who's an athletic right there, Santa Fe. Very nice lady. I met her when I got a media pass from a while back. But I think Santa Fe's in the right people to get schools like the schools in Gainesville, the schools over there in Hawthorne, schools actually in Start. They're losing players to all these surrounding schools and counties. They need to find a guy who knows the Alachua area, who knows Alachua County, who's from Alachua County, and can help the Raiders to get back on their winning ways when it once was less than 10 years ago.
I agree. When a program is struggling, a lot of times you need to look from within in order to build it back better, right? Because not everybody is lucky enough to have a coach with 400 wins,
Right.
and I mean, what do you do? When you're sitting here and looking to rebuild the program, you need to bring somebody in with ties to the community, ties to the area, somebody who can rally the support, and knows a little bit about the program to be able to talk to the people who were involved, right? And I know that's
Right.
one of the reasons I started up my channel, was just so that way some of these young guys that are experiencing this recent success and everything, I say, hey, that's all well and good. You're still not 4-0 against Chiefland, and you hadn't gone to the playoffs 4 straight
Right.
years like my class and Brandon Jelks and some of them guys did back in the day. But we're trying to share history locally here in Williston, and if Santa Fe wants to get back on track, they need to look back.
Bring a guy who knows the football program, guy who was a winner there. Like for example,
Right.
you was a winner at Williston. Coach Pruitt was a winner at Lake Butler. Brought his winning mentality
Right.
to other schools. What he did in Georgia. Look what he's doing at Williston. He got y'all to the regional semifinals last year. What 11-1
That's
regular
right.
season. Like, look what he's. You get a guy who's culturally known for wing, like a Cornelius Ingram, like a Coach Gore at Chiefland, like a Ed Johnson at Newberry, like a Whittemore at Buchholz, who came back last year. You have those kind
Right.
of guys who are culture bringers. Those guys are winners. They know the program. They've been there. They've been done that. And Coach Thomas was. So you have those guys who know how to win. You got to find a guy. And I know sometimes money isn't always the answer, but if you want to get a good coach now, you're going to have to spend it. And a lot of coaches now some of these big time coaches are getting paid quite a ransom. But look what the product they put on the field, though. I mean,
I mean,
I mean,
last I heard, Williston was 6 figures.
we're gonna talk about money today on the episode. But I do want to take a quick break and get a word from our sponsors, Jackson Action Tax Prep. We'll be right back.
Tax preparation, preparing you for this 2024 tax season. Yes, listen, don't leave your money on the table. I repeat, don't. Plan ahead. You'll be so glad that you did. Listen, start by gathering your documents now. You need help? Just ask us. Next, contact your tax professional at Jackson Action Tax Preparation LLC. Let them know that you are ready to get the max. Lastly, breathe easy.
Welcome back to the show, guys.
You did it. Yes, allow Jackson to put action behind
LLC for bringing us that sponsor. Let's get back to the show. Once again, follow Jackson Action Tax on Facebook. Thank you, Keyshawn Jackson, for supporting the channel, as you always do. Let's get back into it. We appreciate that. A little commercial break. Had to give me something to But we got a lot of football to talk about, man. Listen, what is going on this weekend? We got 6 marquee games, playoff caliber games, man.
Really?
We got 6 huge ones. We're going to get with your game first, but let's talk about something that happened this past weekend. Some teams played on Saturday, some teams played on Monday. First thing I want to talk about, what is going on with the Bears this year? What happened to that old Dixon County for like 3-4 years ago, who was a consistent playoff caliber team, and now they're like falling to the big category, even to the football. What is going on? They got shut out by Bloodstown 22-0 Saturday.
So I remember having some absolute wars fought between Williston and Dixie County. Like I was on the sideline watching the defense try to stop Carlos Godbolt on 4th and 7 from 62 yards out with the district championship on the line back in the day, man. So I know exactly what you're talking about when we're talking about the Dixie County Bears falling off, right? So that one's hard to put your finger on. It looks like they should have all the pieces in place. I mean, what are your thoughts there?
I was just mad because when I first started doing the show, Duke Dawson was a big name at Dixie County. I mean, Dixie County I think 2 3 times in the 2014, 2015 season when we played in the regular season. We got humiliated down there in Cross City. Then we went to play in the regional semifinals. We lost in a barber.
Mhm.
It was an offensive explosion. I think it was like almost 90 points combined between the two schools. So I remember when Dixie County had played like Duke Dawson, going to Dixie County in a playoff atmosphere, late November,
Yeah.
late October. That's a tough place to play at. We talk about tough environment. We talk about Boot Hill and Mass. Hawthorne is a tough environment to play. Newberry is a tough place to play in. Bradford is a tough place to play in. Even Williston is a tough place to play in. But you go to those places late season, early December, late November, that atmosphere is nuts. And watching the Dixie County Union County games back in the mid 2010s, those were some good. Coach Thomas is from the Dixie County area. Andrew Thomas from the Dixie County area. He was a graduate of Dixie County High School, so he talks a lot about Dixie County. It's kind of a shame to see. I think Dixie County lost in the first round, and they're the verge of not making it this year. They're actually playing Hamilton County tonight down there in Jasper. Last time I checked, the Bears was up, I think, 11 in the second quarter, not mistaken. I'll post the final score after the game's over with. But this is a must win for Dixie County and for Hamilton County. They're trying to make a playoff push.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, I hadn't seen the update since 17 minutes ago with Dixie actually, looking like they were gonna pull it out against Hamilton. But hey, let's see how it turns out. I mean, Dixie's not as good as they used to be,
Not at
and
all.
but I still think they're a little bit better than a 48-0 paste into the Indians. I mean,
Yeah.
what team stepped on the field there,
I hope Dixie can
right?
turn it around. I really do. I really hope they can turn it around because they were once. To me, I respect them enough that they was really a contender in rural football, even 1A before rural became a. So you always had Williston, you always had Dixie, you always had Union County, you had
Mhm.
Hawthorne, Newberry, who else? Chiefland. Those schools was the cream of the crop when it comes to 1A football. You don't beat those
Right,
schools, you're not going to state. Because you look at the beginning of rural football, Hawthorne slowly skyrocket. Skyrocket. They're the
right,
cream of the great words of Macho Man Randy Savage. They're the cream of the crop of rural football. You beat them, you're state champions. You got them, you got Madison always working their little head somewhere in there.
yeah,
They got Union County and Williston right there in Chiefs. Those are three schools that's the biggest threat to Hamilton, to Chiefs, Madison and Hawthorne. My opinion, are the only way Hawthorne don't get back to state for the fifth straight year.
And so I was talking to Hornet Sports Network guy Matt Cernsey, right? And I was telling him, I'm like, I know y'all lost Mr. Ingram back there in the backfield to direct the show and everything, but I still think that all roads to a state title have to go through Hawthorne right now, right?
Great.
Because in the immortal words of WWE, to be the man, you got to
Gotta
beat the
beat the
man,
man. Great words of Ric
right?
Flair. Yes,
So
sir.
I mean, yeah,
So,
until it happens, they still got to be the favorite. I
yeah.
mean, I know they're not, undefeated like they usually are this season, but they're having to wear the weight of their success. They got to travel to go get games these days,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I was surprised they had to travel all the way up to FSU High School, and FSU High School put a
Right.
put a good L on them and everything. But at the same time, who's to say that doesn't make them stronger
Yeah.
come the rest of the season, right? Because Williston was always better when Chiefland was good too, right? Because we
Yeah,
like
you're
to
right.
we always like to say, hey, by the way, you remember that state title? y'all don't have a 0 in that loss column, do you?
Yeah.
So I mean, whenever whenever you get tested, it sometimes will help you come out stronger in the long run. So I mean, you still got to say the road to the state title goes through Hawthorne.
I totally agree. I mean, you look at the records. A lot of people from across rural football don't always agree with what we're saying. Because you're Williston, I mean, yeah, they have a losing record, but I have to give the benefit of the doubt. They had a tough battle. I mean, a gladiator battle. The week prior against New, they was a half yard away from losing back-to-back games. So Newberry,
You're
in my
right.
opinion, I think Newberry will make a big noise in 2A football this playoff season. The Bradford Tornadoes up in a little bit, but I think all roads in Newberry, in my opinion, Hawthorne. But I'm not gonna lie. I get it. You play you beat a tough South Sumter team on the road. You beat Oakley at the Horn. What a play that was. A 6A Oakley team. So the Florida High loss, we get that eventually. But to win big games like South Sumter on the road and Oakley at the Horn, you gotta give them credit, especially without their leading passer, Cornelius Ingram.
Sorry, all of a sudden I was trying to pull up my next notes on the thing and a video came up. What and it drowned you out there. What'd you say, bud?
What I was saying, credit without Cornelius Ingram playing quarterback, you're still winning games. He had a game-winning score against Oakley, 6-8 Oakley at that. You got a big win on the road against South Sumter 2 years in a row. You have to look at Hawthorne as a team to beat, but they probably have home field advantage because if Union County could win out in that game against Chiefland, if the Tigers go into Chiefland, who have not beat in Chiefland quite a while. Remember the last time the Tigers and the Indians played that crazy playoff game 3 years ago down there, which is taken by 2 in overtime. If Lake Mother could beat Chiefland, I think no disrespect Hawthorne, but Hawthorne got to make that trip to Tiger Stadium to take on Union County eventually. And last time the Tigers and the Hornets played in Union County, it was a classic. It was a 28-21 overtime thriller that Hawthorne came out for 21 down to win that football game. So that game right there started in the C.J. Ingram hype train era because coming out for 21 down against a rural rival since Union County, a powerhouse. I mean, like I said, the 6 schools are Union County, Chiefland, Williston, Hawthorne, and Newberry before Newberry got shipped to 2A. Those were the 16. Those were, you remember the four horsemen from them? Those are the 6 horsemen of rural football. Those are the 16, the cream of the crop, like I said earlier, of rural football. So we'll talk about
and don't
playoffs.
Forget that.
Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, don't forget that off season still was the coming out party for Vernell Brown III too, when he came to Williston and ended their playoff run and still gave all the playoff teams a run for their money, man. Because seeing him back then a couple seasons ago, like, hey, everybody talked about CJ's coming out party, but I mean that was Trey too. Trey was on it.
I can't wait to see him again in uniform next year, man. I'm so excited to see him and Eugene Wilson play side to side together. That's great in football.
Yeah, that's gonna be good for whoever is the next Gators head coach.
You ain't lying about that. They period days are numbered.
Hey, Billy Napier could still stay in Hale Plantation and go coach Santa Fe. There you go.
Wow. I mean, and they got the money coming. He $26 million in buyout. So I mean, hey, he got the money. He got about no money for the foreseeable future. He can take the job for free. $26 million at U.S. to probably get fired. So that's another day. We'll talk about the Gators at the end of the show because I'm so excited for it. I'm sorry to see Graham Burns take ACL, but I'm so glad we finally get the reins. Now, a lot of people are asking for since he signed at UF. He will get his first major. I know the Sanford game, that was a scrimmage, but the Kentucky really going to determine how well he can perform against a top tier defense because. Yes, Kentucky's not good offensively, but their defensive front is very good. Very good. You see why.
7's loaded, man.
Yeah, you see why they gave Jordan so much pressure about 3 weeks ago. So DJ's going to be very smart and not only with his arm, but his feet to buy more time and get the receiver because he Aiden Mizell, who was an underrated 4-star recruit. You got Tate Hawkins, you got Elijah Badger, you got DK, and then you got Eugene Wilson finally healthy this year. The Gators could probably win that game by 7. I think Florida could get the job done. Kentucky, the defense, I'm so proud of this defense. Listen, Robert, that defense was giving it against Miami and Texas A&M, but they finally showed something. They showed something against UCF because UCF came in the game as a top 5 rush offense, running for 350 a game. Florida held to 100. Florida went at Neyland Stadium and dominated. I don't care what anybody say. They dominated the so-called top 5 total offense in the country. They made Nico look like Nico is overrated. He did not look good at all against Florida. The reason why Florida lost that game was 2 people. Billy Pierce played call in the second half, and you had the strip fumble. Why would you have Graham Burks trying to run the football to quarterback anyway at the goal line? He's not a dual threat quarterback. That's strike 1. You had the field goal miss. Like, guys, come on. Why is Florida always having the same numbers on the field, man? What's up with this? And then you up 10-0, and then 2 minutes later, so I really hate to say it. They went for a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. And the way the offense plays so flat in overtime, that was horrible.
Yeah, you go for 2 right there. You got a chance to ice it on the road. You go for 2.
You gotta go for 2.
You know, and
go ahead.
And I tell you, I think DJ has a coming out party. Like, he's probably going to have his own Matt Mitchell call out on SEC roll call week 8, right? I mean, dude's about to go off. He's Florida's first 1.01 if you don't count Cam. He's that dude.
He's him. And we see that against Samson.
Yeah.
I mean, the man has a rocket arm, very good accuracy, and then we all know he's 6'3", 240. So ball coming downhill.
Right.
Now here's what I would have ran on that 2-point conversion. I would have ran it. Cause you remember when T-Mobile was school, they had a Gator heavy package, right? I don't know whether that Gator heavy package, brains, D tackles, whatever you need to do. I'd have ran a quarterback sweep to the right side, and I'd overload the right side with so much meat it made no sense. Cause we was Tennessee defense in the second half. I'd have ran a quarterback power to the right side. Overload the right side, and DJ find a way to get the end zone. That's what I would have ran. I would have ran nothing more than that. A quarterback power, overload the right side with defensive linemen, defensive tackles, and show who had the better line. I think Florida was out physically in that Tennessee line in parts of the second half. In parts of the first, Tennessee got the momentum in the second half when Florida started messing themselves up. When Graham went down, that's when the game kind of went away because it took away from the drop back option. That Graham was more accurate than DJ. Paused some errors, but Graham was really good against Tennessee. The last 2-3 weeks, Graham was really good. So I hope he comes. Go to the NFL draft with a little bit more momentum. I think he'll be our pick still because the quarterback room is not as much needed as it was last year. So he will probably either get signed as a free agent or probably with 6th or 7th round. We do somebody comment. Oh, that was you. Okay, but I really feel like if you're watching right now, just comment, please. It's an interaction stream. We want to hear your thoughts. Appreciate those who are watching. We're talking about games all night. Let's talk about some of the games for this upcoming weekend before we get to our major 6, because we got 6 huge games. And we're talking about the game you're calling this Friday down there in North Marion. Why would Denellen, the Wildcats coming to this matchup 2-5? Did Denellen beat Eastside last Thursday?
And Denellen's gonna paste them, man.
Hey, what's the over and under for Denellen?
We got a lot of good games this weekend. That's not one of them.
That's not. But I'm gonna go over all the other games before we get to the really good games. I think Denellen's gonna beat them by 4 touchdowns.
I figured I'd keep it real there.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm not even debating that. I think Denellen's gonna run away by at least 4 touchdowns. First major game of the weekend. Two-time state champion traveling to the Villages. What are your thoughts on that game, and who you got winning this game?
So I think Coco's coming out of it. Like, it's going to be closer, right? But, I mean, it's Coco right now. I mean, don't get me wrong. I just I wish I could tell you I've been able to watch more of both teams,
too.
right? I stick to a lot of my rural stuff over here. Like, don't get me wrong, but just I keep seeing things with Coco that I like to see, and I think the Villages has come a long way. I mean, I remember back when I was coaching and they couldn't win a game, and all of a sudden they started running these little guys out there at these 7-on-7 tournaments, and they were sitting there taking their baseball team out there because they were like running basketball style plays with rub routes all over the place and going crazy with it. And I'm like, so they got some athletes. They're just not getting to take advantage of those athletes. And once somebody does, okay, all right. And now the Villages it's on the come up. I just think this is going to be a test that's a little too tough.
I'm going to say my prediction. I'm going to go with Coco as well. I agree with you that Coco is going to get tested though. Coco will get tested. I got Coco winning by 10. I think Coco's going to pull away because it's still elite. Don't look at the 3-3 record and say Coco fell off. They play some really tough schools. So I'm going to give Coco the benefit of the doubt, escaping the division with a 10-point victory.
I mean, it's saying Coco's 3-3 and not. Oh, hold on. There we go. So saying Coco at 3-3 is a fall off, but looking at their schedule, and I think Bethune would have a tough time with that schedule this year so far. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. So we got up over there against the Buffalo. Let's go back to rural football for a second. Bellevue 0-5, making the trip to St. John's County against the Matanzas Pirates. Do you get first win of the year on the road against Matanzas?
Hold on, which game are you on right now?
Bellevue at Matanzas. Bellevue still in yet. They're one of 3 schools in the area. Bellevue, Bronson, and St. Francis. They have not won games yet. So, do you think the Rattlers will get their first win of the year on the road?
Well, I've seen Bellevue up close and in person, right? And I honestly can't tell you that they're going to, right? I mean, it's tough. They put some good stuff together, right? They like to try to spread the ball out and throw it a little bit, but at the same time, it's just not really executing at a high level yet.
Right.
When you try to spread it out and throw the ball and everything, but you have a hard time protecting the QB, and you also have a hard time with getting some people out open in space and everything. It's just going to be difficult for you to execute that spread system. Against us, they like to roll the quarterback out of the pocket on a sprint right, and honestly, the quarterback's a good athlete, right? Could throw a decent ball. Had trouble finding people open in space, and when he would get outside of the pocket, if another athlete had a good angle on him, it was done. I mean, you're just not going to add that up and find success.
The right pieces to run a spread look, you're not going to be successful. You got to have the right pieces around it. Like you said, the guys, I see his stats look pretty solid, but like I said, Bellevue got a tough task. I'm gonna give him. He might finish the season Willis unless they play against Bronson in a Willis Bowl free for all down there. I think Bellevue Bronson's probably the worst team in Florida. Florida football. I would love to see those 3 teams play each other. Bellevue, Bronson, and St. Francis play each other. It is a triple threat match. That would be Santa Fe got a little before those 4 3 have.
Just let them play it out and see whoever can win their way out, like they were talking about with the London NFL game, right?
I'm trying to tell you, man. Next game we're going to talk about is another rural matchup. Trenton at Lafayette. What's your thoughts on those 2 schools? Who you got with their game?
So Trenton has been struggling, right? I know the Tigers usually don't struggle the way they've been struggling, and that's that's left a lot of their fan base kind of upset, right? Because that's a school that's coming off of a very good run of football over the past few years. So when you're sitting here taking a look at the Trenton team, I think you're looking at a team that needs to get another dub to get back on track. And when you're looking at a team that really needs to get back on track and they've got that good history, it's hard to bet against them, right?
Right. So you got Trenton with the win?
I think Trenton's going to pull it out.
That's gonna be a tough one going into him coming off a 40-7 beat down on Brantford, a huge upset for the Hornets on this past Saturday, past Monday. We'll get to Brantford a little bit. I want to talk about this is a kind of a scary one. Bell at 6-2, taking on 7-0 Arcilla Christian. What are your thoughts on this upcoming matchup?
It was breaking up on me a little bit here when you were talking about that.
Bell and Arcilla Christian. Now listen, this matchup, 6-2 Bell and Christian. Who we got winning that matchup?
Ooh. Talk about a couple of teams that I wish I had a little bit more insight on. So I'm going to defer to your expertise on this one.
Whew. Man, listen, I should have put you on the gun sheet for this one. This Bell come off a huge win last week. They got to go to Arcilla Christian. I'm gonna give Arcilla Christian a close 3-point victory, even though I think I'm gonna give Arcilla Christian the benefit of the doubt. Let's get back to the rural side of the things. Let's go to Let's talk about Fort White and Newberry this upcoming Friday. What do you Newberry come off the biggest win in the end?
Now, I've seen a good bit of these teams so far this year and everything, trying to keep track of. Unfortunately, I hadn't seen much of Bell. I don't know how they're so close, and I'm not real well versed on Bell Bulldog football right now, right? So I will tell you though that I think the Newberry defensive line is a monster, right? Like that defensive line can play with anybody in the state right now. And I think games are won in the trenches, championships are won in the trenches, and they got a game winning and championship winning D-line.
I think what I'm going to do, I think I agree with you. Newberry, take that loss to Hawthorne away. They're only a one-loss team, and the only major loss game was to Vanguard over there on Ocala before the hurricane hit. So Fort White lost there with a key defensive line and transfer. I'm going to give Newberry a 14-point victory. Even though people think it's going to be close, Newberry's defensive front is too dangerous. And you see how they manhandled a Bradford team who we should get last year. And I mean, starting to get their first points in the last 5 minutes of the football game. So we both agree that the Panthers are going to take care of business. Yeah, agreed. So we're both going to give Newberry the nod.
Absolutely amazing.
I mean, now my next question is, can Newberry make a deep run to the state title game this year? You need Newberry defense to carry to a state title this year.
I think they could. I think to discount them would be a mistake, And I mean, right now, when you take a look at the results they're putting on the field, I mean, like just talk about a couple of common things. Like I don't think Fort White's gonna really give I honestly think Newberry's at least 2 touchdowns.
I agree.
Right. I think honestly I don't see them getting stopped before a state title game.
I think I'm ready for that key matchup against Stark again in the playoff. They're gonna run into each other again, probably the 3rd round. But once again, I think Stark gonna come back to Newberry and play him again to play him because Newberry won the district championship. So they're district champions, so they'll get the higher seed over Stark despite having more losses than Stark. Wonder how the committee going to put those 2 teams down the line to playoff format.
I mean, hopefully they respect that head-to-head.
Yeah, definitely.
It really has to count on the field.
Agreed. Like I said, Newberry only 2 losses came against a 1-loss against a half a yard loss against Hawthorne, and against a kind of Vanguard, two teams that was championship game last year or the round before the state championship game last year. So those are two, I think, two tough losses, but those are two losses that we can respect because those are not slouches you lose against. Slouch and Vanguard definitely not slouch.
Well, and you would think that Vanguard loss would look a little worse at 23-0 until you go and take a look at Vanguard as a team right now. Like, I mean, Vanguard looks real good too. And them having to go into South Sumter right now and try to pull something out, or excuse me, South Sumter coming there. Like South Sumter's been so good over the past few seasons, but I mean, do you see Vanguard really struggling there? And I think the answer is no.
That's the thing we're talking about. Is Vanguard hosting South Sumter down there in Marion County? I do got Vanguard winning by at least 4. If the game was in Bristol, I will lean towards South Sumter because South Sumter is a tough team to play at home. But I'm gonna give Vanguard the win. Vanguard is trying to get back because they was in the Final Four last year. They was one away to Tallahassee last year, so they have a point to prove. Right. They're back. They're pissed off. They want to get back to the Final Four where they could avenge their. I think went out of South Florida last year and lost last year. Was right? Did they? I forgot who lost to last year.
I'm trying to remember now. Put me on the spot there with that one, and I can't remember.
I know they had to make the trip down south to play in their Final Four game. It was a close game too, for what I remember. But Vanguard got a lot to prove this year, and I think Vanguard is played up to what it was last year. One loss to Buchholz at the beginning of the year, but you see how Buchholz has struggled the last several weeks. Vanguard looking sharper since the Buchholz loss.
Agreed. And I mean, it's not like Buchholz is a bad team at all. They're definitely a bigger school than Vanguard, but I mean, Vanguard's looked like a buzzsaw ever since.
I'm trying to tell you, they have been sharp since that Buchholz loss. The Buchholz lost some tough teams too. They lost to Richmond Hill out of Georgia, who's undefeated when they played them. They lost a tough game to I think it was Nice. Lost to Nice, and then they lost to they was like on a 2-game 3 losing before they finally beat GHS last Monday. But Buchholz still going to be a playoff threat. Don't disrespect the Bobcats. They're in November. They're going to be there in early December. So don't disrespect them at all. Last couple of games we're talking about tonight. The next game we're talking about. How do you feel about Hawthorne going to Bradenton and take this Friday? What are your thoughts on the Hornets making history, being I think the only small school in the area to ever go to IMG Academy to play them? What are your thoughts on this matchup?
So I'm a big fan of Hawthorne saying they're going to go on the road and do whatever they want because they just have to find whoever's actually willing to play them, man. I tell you the things that Hawthorne's having to try to keep up with and do. So like I tell you the one thing I hate about the fact that when we have to talk about IMG Academy and everything, and IMG's got Trenard, or at least IMG took Trenard from us and everything, and did the whole transfer game and everything. So it's like I hope Hawthorne just goes down, and anything IMG related, they just go ahead and paste them.
So is IMG white the JV team, or is IMG blue the main team? Blue or white? I think it's blue.
Isn't Trenard's blue, isn't he? Yeah, Trenard's on blue. That's right. But still, it's IMG. It's all the same, right?
Yeah, it don't matter to me. I don't care if it's
go get him.
Yeah, go get
him.
Because let's not forget, I think Columbia beat IMG Blue 3-4 years ago on their field, so they can't be beat. So
they can.
That'd be a wonderful experience for a small school like Hawthorne to represent the royalties, to go to Bradenton to take on IMG in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I hope these kids will never forget. Hopefully Hawthorne will get a big victory on the road against IMG.
I mean, because it's like playing at a small college, I mean,
right.
The facilities, the experience, everything that they're going to go down there and do, it'll be the best place they play that hasn't been a state title game.
I mean, this is like Hawthorne going to play, not even at FAMU, but Hawthorne going to play at again. Like when they played Doak Campbell 5 years ago against Baker. This is a big statement right here. If Hawthorne could go into Bradenton and knock off IMG, I don't care if it's IMG Wildlow. You go in and be an IMG football team. You are good. You are elite. So if they can pull off that game against IMG, like I said, I've already given Coach Cornelius his flowers. But I'm going to give him a bouquet of flowers out there in Bradenton.
Right. I think I tell you, that'll be the one game that I pull up on my phone while I've got my broadcast going. I'll have it over there on the other little side, just trying to like tune in Hornet Sports Network, trying to see how that one's going.
Hey, I will be watching that game, and I will be posting all scores this Friday. So that's your bet, Robert, when you got there in North Marion. Speaking of North Marion, let's talk about the Williston North Marion match. You'll be calling this Friday night down there in Marion County. What are your thoughts on this upcoming showdown against the Colts?
So I think the Colts are very underrated at 3-4 right now, right? I mean, because the Colts always play a brand of tough football, and if you look at some of their common opponents, the matchups are not bad, right? I mean, short of that last result that they posted, where all of a sudden it seems like Vanguard just maybe hurt them a little bit, and what happened in Denellen, right? Like they started strong and started out 3-1 with a close loss to Fort White, and then it's like just the two wins by South Sumter and Vanguard seem to have like broken something in them. So this game's kind of dangerous for Williston, because even though we look better on paper, you take a look at that 3-1 start where they beat Forest and hung tough with Fort White, and it looks like was giving South Sumter a game until all of a sudden it's like the wheels fell off, and it just looks like things are not working in the right direction anymore. So do they try to get back right at home against Williston? I mean, because they had 5 games in a row on the road. You don't usually get right on the road. You usually try to get right at home.
Right.
So I think Williston should win. I think Williston has all the tools to win. And I think if Williston starts to struggle, they may pull out the single wing like they've been doing to some teams lately, and just absolutely play a punishing brand of football, because everybody's talking about Trinity Catholic and Union County kind of being the game of the week on the poll. And I'm like, what Trinity Catholic team are these other people watching? Where that's the game of the week, right?
Because I'm not,
like,
this ain't Trinity Catholic. John Brenton was at quarterback, right? It's like this is a different Trinity Catholic football. That game in a few minutes, but as the polls looking right now, I'm kind of shell-shocked, because you're not going to vote for IMG and Hawthorne or Cocoa to visit, or even Williston North Marion. You're going to vote for Union County and Trinity Catholic. Are you doing it because of the name of Trinity Catholic? Because they're 1-6.
I mean, hey,
the
people have spoken. That wasn't my vote, but the people have spoken. They want to see that game, as game of the week and everything. But it's like, there's plenty of great matchups. I mean,
there's way more better.
Like I can't wait to see Madison County too. But
yes,
that's just me.
Yeah, Madison County got a real tough game this upcoming weekend. I'm so excited for this week of football. Last game tonight, I know Madison County got to play. Who Madison County played this week? Madison County played who? Is it Swanee?
I'm pulling their stuff up right now because they got FSU.
That's right. And because Swanee got to play Taylor County this week. That's going to be a tough one, because Taylor County's going to play humidity. They lost to Florida High. Florida High, they're going to go back to state this year. Huge wins over Hawthorne and blowing out Taylor County. The Seminoles look really good right now. I ain't talking about Florida State. We're talking about Florida High. We're talking about Florida High. We're talking about the Seminoles of high football. They look real good this year.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when you take a look at what they did against Hawthorne and look at some of their other results, it speaks for itself.
They look real good. Now, the last game we're going to talk about tonight and this is what I'm going to take over this one because this is my alma mater, the Union County Tigers. 6-0, had 2 games that was called for the Hurricanes. Well, actually, one game was called for Hurricane. That was the Hollis Christian Academy game. That was called their Hurricane lead. They won't be able to reschedule. They talk about reschedule, but we don't know yet. Trinity Catholic, respect to Coach John Brayton IV. He's done a great job his entire coaching career down there in Ocala. It's the team. Grant, they're divisionally 2 team, which is them PK Young. And shout out to PK Young, they're 5-2. They look good right now. I forgot about PK Young.
So, man, we went all over the place on that one right there. We were like, hey, we got Union, we got this, we got that, and I'm like, God dang, we just covered like half the state all of a sudden.
Right. It's like, well, shout out to PK Young. We played them earlier this year. I think on our 3rd game of this year. And PK Young is nothing to say to we here. We have to get PK on their flowers. They're really good this year. But Trinity Catholic, on the other hand, they're bigger than us. They're a big school we face this year, but they're not the same Trinity Catholic of years past. They're beefed up front and on defense. But I think our brand of football is kind of like y'all's, punishing. Run the football down your throats, old-fashioned 1A rural football. We score in the gun, under center, jet sweep, whatever you find that we can score. We have 3 shutouts this year. I'm not saying we're shut out Trinity Catholic, but it's gonna be a lopsided victory. Thomas finds a way to beat Coach Thomas. And Union County fans, you know what I'm talking about. I think Union County will get this job done, take care of Hudson as we enter that showdown down there against Chiefland. And I'm worried about that game because that's a game that everybody has scheduled on for weeks. This game is scheduled for weeks. If Lake Butler is gonna be a true contender in the rural player, because right now I don't know how they're gonna seed us because we're undefeated. But you look at Madison record, they both got 1 loss, but they're respectable 1 losses. So do you put an undefeated Union County team over a Hawthorne team that just what did they beat IMG this Friday? Go to IMG. Do you put Hawthorne still 1 over Union County who's undefeated? That's the question. Because you're taking the top 16 teams in rural and put them in the playoffs.
So I'll tell you that I've got to see a lot more of Hawthorne this year than Union County simply because of the coverage of Hornet Sports Network, where they continue to do a stellar job of bringing you all things Hawthorne football, right? So
congratulations to Matt over there.
It almost feels like no matter what, I'm going to prefer the Hornets right now just because I'm much more familiar with them, right? It's hard to say. I would tell you that right now, I think that you'd have to go with the experience of Hawthorne as well, too, even though I think Union County matches up well with them. But one thing we've seen the last couple years with Williston as a good example is some of these small rural schools that aren't exactly as coached up in spread philosophies and understand how to defend in space. A lot of times when you get against a team like Hawthorne that can execute spread philosophies, get their kids open in space, execute on the throws, that the offensive ability and the coaching on the offensive side of the ball tends to outweigh those sorts of situations, right? So I think that even though they match up really well, I think I'd have to give the nod to Coach Ingram and his Hornets right now.
Yeah, this is a kind of a touchy subject for me because a lot of you kind of fans feel like they should be higher this, that, the third. I always say this. I'm gonna wait for selection Saturday, selection Friday, or wherever they do it. I think it's Saturday or Sunday. But I wait for the selection Sunday to happen to determine who's gonna be what in front of us. We all know we have to take care of what's in front of us, and then the jury selects for themselves. We all know Willis is gonna be there. We know Lake Butler's gonna be there. We know Hawthorne's gonna be there. We know Madison's gonna be there. We know Fort White. Hopefully, Fort White gets there because they should be there. But
They should.
this giving is very important, so they gotta win this one.
Right. Right. And I mean, but if I'm sitting here selecting the playoff field for rural and everything, do I really discount a loss against Newberry, who is probably going to rate out as one of the top seeds in 2A? Right?
Right.
You'd have to think that it's like, what's the whole thing they give the SEC? Oh, that loss just means more.
Right.
Hey, that loss,
SEC bias.
as long as it's not a blowout and they play tight with them, that loss means more.
Oh yeah, I agree. I just really hope that they make the right decision when it comes to play. Because we don't want nobody to get screwed or robbed the way they're supposed to be. I hope the committee gets it right this year. And like I said, beat you in front of you and let the jury handle itself. So, being
Yep.
said, I want to thank my brother from another mother, Robert Mack, man, my new co-host of High School
Appreciate you, man.
Football Final. Thank you, and good luck to you this Friday against Northman.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Will you be streaming that game on Facebook?
No, Facebook. We're gonna do YouTube horizontal and vertical. So we've got a special stream designed just for the small screen, so that way people can participate in the chat and still get the whole experience. So we're working on starting to multi-stream platforms here soon. One of my next projects is improving the sound quality, because the first thing we did first and foremost was picture quality, man. Picture quality outweighs everything. People will listen to the game on mute if the picture's good, right? So we've got us a nice little 1080p 60 setup that we're rocking with right now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the internet's out there in Citrus good enough to
Well,
bring it to the people, though, because doesn't matter if that gas pipe in there,
yeah, I ain't lying, man. That's a tough ride to the Citrus, man. But shout out to Robert Cohost, Williston Sports Station. Please tune in Friday night down there in Citrus as the Williston Red Devils travel to take on the Northman Colts this Friday night, 7:30. Correct?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. And I already posted them on my YouTube, so that way people could hit the little bell notey and make sure that
Please hit that
they're
bell notice,
ready
man.
for it. And you can even drop in on the stream, leave us a little chat and everything too if you'd like. And I'll make sure to update the score over on the Facebook page for you. All right, man.
Yes, sir, Robert. I'll communicate. I'll text you in a few minutes after this off the air. We'll be back Monday night, 8 o'clock, as we get actually not 8 o'clock, 8:30. We'll be here 8:30 to go over Friday's action, and we're in as we're getting
Like it.
closer to that high school football final 2 weeks as we get ready for playoff football. Anything you want to add before we go off the air?
Oh no, man. I tell you, I appreciated it on the first time. I know we went through the struggles, getting it going and getting it moving, and moving forward, we're gonna be great, man.
Man, I can't wait. Listen, like, subscribe to my channel, Worldwide, YouTube. Follow the Jackson Sports Media LLC page. Follow my friend Robert Mack on Wilson Sports Station. I'm Friday with all the scores for rural football across the state. Robert, good luck over there in Citrus. Take care of those Colts. Lead with a W.
Appreciate you,
And
man.
we'll see y'all Monday night for high school football.